Hey, welcome back, everybody. Well, last episode we had the two biggest games in AFC Rushden and Diamonds history. Today we have a massive cup doubleheader. One to get revenge over one team that beat us last season, and the other that could determine the financial future of the club for the next couple of years. Let's get right into this for another episode of Dog Turds into Diamonds. So welcome back. We are ready for a massive cup doubleheader today. We are kicking things off against Vanarama North Kidderminster Harriers. They beat us in this competition last season, the FA Trophy. It would be great to get some revenge over them and also show that we are ready to compete at that same level. Kidderminster, very similar to when we played them last season, are fourth in the Vanarama League North, and they are, well, a little bit off York, who are top there, but they are certainly well placed for a playoff spot. They are a top Vanarama North side, and that is going to give us a huge indication today of exactly where we sit in the pyramid. We are, of course, really looking good at the top of our division. If we just have a look, we can see here we are 4 points clear of Nuneaton Borough with a game in hand, but we are going to have over the next few weeks some major fixture congestion. So with the size of a non-league squad and these massive cup games that we are prioritising right now, it could be a lot closer by the time we catch up to our rivals in terms of games played. So I don't think, although we look good right now, 4 points clear with a game in hand, I don't think it's that cut and dry. We are going to be playing Biggleswade Town in between the games against Kidderminster in the FA Trophy and Bradford PA in the FA Cup. Biggleswade away, they're a mid-table team. We are going to have to fully rotate as much as possible. So that is going to be a tough game. And then 4 days after Bradford PA, we go against Bromsgrove Sporting, who are struggling. But again, we are likely going to have to rotate the entire side. And 3 days after that, away to St Ives, who are in 6th place as it stands. So this is a really tough run of games, which is going to kind of determine how much control of this league we've got as we go into January. With that in mind, the only other news before we get into this Kidderminster game is a bit of an issue with our new striker, William Osula. He has been fantastic since he's come in. 3 goals in 3 starts, 3 in 5, plus an assist. And yeah, he's had a really good impact. He really looks like the player we wanted him to be when we signed him. But there is a major issue. I've been informed that as he has not got English nationality, he is Danish and Nigerian. As he does not have English nationality, we would have to apply for a work permit for him in January. And I don't think he is going to get it. If we have a look at his history, I mean, he has only ever played for Sheffield United, obviously through their academy. So I don't understand. I mean, he had 4 years at Sheffield United, but he hasn't been able to get English nationality. And you can see he needs 1,800 consecutive days to qualify for English nationality. He obviously didn't do that in his 4 years at Sheffield United, and because he was released, he obviously left the country and then has come back in to play for us. So he's only technically been in the country for 27 days. He's a long way short of getting English nationality, and we've been advised that the only way that we could get him a a visa would be, or a work permit rather, would be to give him a new contract and put him amongst the top percent of earners. And even then, it wouldn't be a given. So I really don't want to do that. We could give him a contract for about 275 a week, but it would be no guarantee that he would get the work permit. And then if he doesn't, we're then stuck with a player on contract who cannot play with a long time until he's eligible for citizenship. So I think we're going to have to let him go. I'm really disappointed, but I do now understand why we were able to get him in the first place, because he of course did accept a contract with a Vanarama South team, only for that to fall through. And I guess it must have been because of this exact problem. To apply for a work permit for him, we would have to pay £20,000, which obviously we cannot afford to do. We cannot afford to spend 20,000 on a player that might not even ever be good enough to play much higher than Vanarama North South. So yeah, I think William Asula's stay with Rushden and Diamonds is going to be a very short one overall. I think at the end of this month, we are going to have to let him go. Real shame. As we look at the team for today's game at Kidderminster, I mean, what I'm looking at now, the three positions I really want to strengthen in January if I can. I would like to get a better central midfielder than King James. He's been fantastic for us. He is our captain. He is our leader. But there are lots of midfielders out there who are better than him. So I think, I mean, I do have on a short list some better midfielders who at the moment want really big money. But I'm going to go back in January and see if any of them have more reasonable demands. And that's because I just don't think Liam O'Neill is the man. He's kind of dropped off a little bit since we signed him. He's a little bit headstrong. He's had a couple of red cards since he came to the club. I just don't think he's a big enough upgrade on King James to start putting him in the team. So what I would be looking to do is move Liam O'Neill on if I can bring somebody else in. But it all depends on the money. We've got to get another striker probably to replace William Asula. I do have a couple of really good strikers on the shortlist that, again, want really big money or aren't interested in coming to us right now, but could be options in the future. But again, I need to free up cash for that. And I also want to bring another winger in. Right now, Leo Gaxa is our only wing option to come in for Hughes and Waltman. There's nobody else capable of playing on the wings. And again, I've got a very good winger on the short list, but we've got to see if he will lower his demands later on in the season. So I'll go back to him in January as well. If we look at the finances, we're doing all right in terms of the money we've earned out of the FA Cup. We are about £75 below the wage budget right now. In January, that goes down to about £200 below the wage budget, because our second choice goalkeeper is of course moving on to MK Dons. So that gives us a little bit extra, and then we can move on Jim Fenlon, we can move on O'Neill, William Asula is moving on. So we might be able to get up to perhaps £500 a week free in the wage budget in January. So, I mean, it could be enough to at least bring in a couple of players in two of those three positions. So we'll see what happens there. And I mean, if I could actually confirm, because my own contract is running out at the end of this season, if I could confirm a new contract nice and early, maybe get another 2 or 3 years guaranteed, then I would then be happy to go over the wage budget with the knowledge that I'm kind of safe in my job. So we're lots to do in January. We've got to see how things go. For today's game at Kidderminster, we are playing Sam Blair in goal. Absolutely fantastic season he's having, the ex-Norwich goalkeeper. Jay Williams and Bailey Clements are the fullbacks. Onoriasi and Sawunmi are our first choice centre-backs. Hazeman and King James in the midfield, with Jack Brown in front of them in a number 10 playmaker role. He is very tired, but because of the size of the game, the fact that I'm going to rotate the next game, Jack Brown starts, and then we've got Damalio Brown-Sterling back in the first team because he has been on great form since coming back from injury. On the bench, we've got Matt Richardson, Jim Fenlon, Liam O'Neill, Jamie O'Hara, is it Magnus? No, Morton Spencer. Morton Spencer, who I really want to give more game time to. I think he's a wonderful prospect. So Morton Spencer, there you go. I'm really struggling with his name today. Leo Gaxa and William Asula making up the bench. Just before we get into this game, I'll just quickly show you what we've been doing since we got that fantastic victory over Cheltenham in the FA Cup. We went away to Taunton in the Southern League Cup. I fully rotated the team, or pretty much as I could, and we got a really nice 2-0 win. You can see we totally dominated the game. They only had one shot at goal. It was Cropper, Richardson, Warner-Ellie came into the defence. Berman got his debut in goal, the on-loan goalkeeper. Bailey Clements moved to centre-back. Miller and O'Neill in the central midfield positions. Miller, of course, our 16-year-old playmaker. Leo Gaxa and Brown-Sterling were out on the wings, with Asula up front and Morton Spencer in the number 10 role. And Brown-Sterling headed in from a Gaxa cross early on, and then Bailey Clements made it 2 on a set piece. We were in total control. Made a few substitutions. Buckley came on for his debut as well. Waltman came on in the second half. And just a really, really nice win into the next round of the Southern League Cup. Again, it's another game that we've got to play, but we are going to be rotating in that competition. We then played Needham Market at home in the league. Very, very good season Needham Market are having. We went back to a full-strength team here, almost, and again, we completely dominated. It was Blair back in goal. Cropper and Richardson, along with Warner-Ellie, did stay in the defence. Somwumi came in to get a game with Richardson. Spencer and O'Neill stayed in the midfield. Gaxa, Hughes, Brown, and Asula were the forward line, and Asula got 2 really well taken goals here. Really nice to see him stepping up and being a genuine Brown-Sterling replacement. Really going to help with the rotation of the squad. And so we did still rest a few players thinking about this game, and all that means that we do have pretty much everybody in the first 11 apart from Jack Brown in good fitness, ready for this match. So again, the games are piling up, but obviously we want to do well in this competition, the FA Trophy, and continue to move forward to the third round of the FA Cup. So we are not going to complain. So you've seen the team. I am going to make a couple of little adjustments, as I did in the FA Cup for the Cheltenham games. And we are going to see if we can cause another cup upset this season. I feel like we are really becoming cup specialists. I feel like I've learned from the mistakes I made last season, especially where we lost to Kidderminster in this competition last season. I feel like I did learn from those errors. I kind of feel like I've got a good idea of how we can be a little bit smarter. So for this game, I am going to stop playing out of defence, and I'm going to look for those set pieces. And apart from that, I'm not going to change anything else right now. But I mean, we've got lots we can change in here to be a little bit more defensive, and I could lower the line of engagement if I want. So that's all I'm going to do right now, and we're going to see how the game starts. But I just think not playing out of defence against better teams is pretty important. And right, the pressure is all on them. Go out and cause an upset, boys. A couple of them have responded. Now let's get the rest of the team really hyped up for this one. It's not the FA Cup, but it's still a very important competition at our level. So we've got good motivation from the team. Let's get into this. Let's get some revenge on Kidderminster. We were beaten here last season. They played us off the park in the first half. We then did the same to them in the second, but their 2 first half goals were enough to see them through. A 2-1 win for them in the end. And we've started pretty well, but they get the first highlight and they are ahead from Ben Greenwood. Is that Ben Greenwood who was on loan with us last season? The left back? And he's just peeled away there. Unbelievable. Great header. And he was well onside. No doubt about that. So we're 1-0 down with their first chance of the game. Let's just encourage the players. How will they respond to that? They've responded well. I mean, we do look the better team here. We've had more chances. We've had much more possession. But we haven't had a highlight. We haven't had a good opportunity. And it looks like the first half is going to end without anything really. Unless we can get hold of this here. Hopefully we don't go in at half time 2 down. That would be horrific. And we, oh my goodness. And Bailey Clements gives them the chance to go 2 up. And this is a real shame because statistically we've looked the better team. We've had more possession. We've had more shots. Oh dear. Have I been a little bit naive here? I'm going to skip that replay. Let me have a look. What should we change here? Let's not work the ball into the box. I don't necessarily want to shoot on sight yet. I'm going to be a little bit more high tempo, and I'm going to go into the flanks rather than distributing to the fullbacks from the goalkeeper. We're going to go straight into the flanks, and I guess we need to go a little more attacking now. And Jack Brown is already very tired. And that is kind of disappointing. I feel like we've done okay. Show me something better in the second half. Yeah, unfortunately they've responded well. Let's see if we can now go and do something. Do we press a little bit more as well? I mean, look, you look at the numbers and we have been far the better team. It really seems like a little bit of an unfortunate result so far. But I mean, we just haven't created anything. We haven't had one highlight. Hopefully this is going to change that. Waltman looking for Brown Sterling, but he can't get in there. Sonwumi done all ends up there, and we're very lucky not to concede a third. I think I am now just going to stop playing into space, and I'm going to start pressing a little bit more intensely. What other changes do I make here? I mean, Jack Brown's very tired, Sonwumi as well. Let's demand more of the players with half an hour to go. Free kick from Brown. Onoriase. Oh my goodness. Why didn't Onoriase hit that? But Brown wins it back. It was all set up there for Onoriase to have a go. Brown Sterling straight at the goalkeeper. Let's make changes here. Let's see what we can do. I think I might go 4-4-2. Let's get Jack Brown off for Asula. We're going to go 2 advanced forwards. We're just going to really try and push onto them here and just see if we can get something out of those. And I am going to bring Sonwumi off. Matt Richardson, who's been unhappy with his playing time. Well, he's certainly going to start getting games now with all the fixture congestion that we're going to have. We'll leave it at that for the moment. Do I go a little bit more direct? I mean, you look at the stats and we really have dominated. We really hard to say we deserve to be losing this 2-0. I think it's, apart from the scoreline, it's been a decent performance, but it would be our first defeat of the season. Can we make something out of this here? Good spell of possession. Waltman out to Williams, who should get crossing. He does. Hughes can't win it. And Hughes has just missed an absolute sitter. Oh. I mean, Waltman and Hughes are also absolutely shattered now. Waltman's had a poor game, but he does have a little bit more fitness than Hughes. Oh, what do I do? I think I'm just going to bring Waltman off, and Leo Gaxa, hopefully he can give us, with his pace, he can give us a little bit more down that right side and maybe create a chance. Let's demand more again. Let's try and get something out of this game. I mean, we've had all the highlights in the second half, but we just haven't been dangerous enough, as they can't get in behind us. Blair goes long. Brown Sterling manages to get onto it. Can he get a crossing? He can. And Asula puts it wide. Another great opportunity missed. We're going to go very attacking to finish this game off now. And let's go a little bit more direct. Shoot on sight. Go a little bit more width as well. Let's just really look to do everything we can now. Everything right up on the extreme now for the last 10 minutes. I'm going to be really disappointed to lose this. We've given them 3 shots on target the entire game, whilst we have had 7 without a goal. And again, I thought maybe we might, just by really throwing caution to the wind now, thought we might be giving up a third there. We've got away with it. If we can get one now, it's a tight last 5 minutes. But they win it back. And I don't think today is going to be our day. I think we're looking at our first defeat of the season. We certainly would have been if none had finished that. And I guess it just shows we're not far off in terms of where we want to be next season. We're not far off, but we are still lacking a little bit, and certainly in terms of goal threat, judging by that game. Disappointing performance, disappointing results. Well, I'm going to say I'm proud of your efforts. I think playing against a good side from a higher division, and bearing in mind that is our first defeat of the season, bearing in mind what we've done in the FA Cup, I can't be too harsh on the players. We are going to lose a little bit of money there from not continuing in the FA Trophy, but we've got the FA Cup second round to come, a really good chance to get into the third round. So if we can do that, it kind of makes up for going out of the FA Trophy at this stage. I don't want to be too harsh on them. Again, it looks, there you go, I thought we were stuck in a loop, but we have come through it in the end. And yeah, little bit disappointing. It kind of takes the wind out of our sails a little bit, but you can see here I've got loads of trial offers for wingers. I want to see if we can get some players in on loan that aren't going to cost us anything. And that would enable me to strengthen the squad for the rest of the season without increasing the wage bill. If I could get a good winger in on loan, then that would allow us to obviously then spend that money on the striker and the central midfielder. So I'm going to get on with this. We're going to move forward. Now I'm going to play the Biggleswade Town game. I will see you guys back when you click on the link for part 2 of today's episode. and we will play that FA Cup second round game at home against Bradford, PA, for a place in the third round of the FA Cup. See you very shortly. Back very soon.